Deze video is mede mogelijk gemaakt door Global Joy Media Groep.
Good afternoon. I was told I have to speak loud because they're playing football over there. So I'm going to talk about business model innovation, a book we wrote about. But I'm going to focus, since this is a marketing audience, I'm going to focus on something that's actually even more interesting than just the content, which is the story of the book. Because I think there's some lessons to be learned of how we did it differently. Because we published the book without a publisher, and we made it a bestseller, and it's coming out in June all over the US. So there's, I think, some stories for marketers, but you will judge afterwards, okay? So the story is about how to create a best-selling book in a special context. And the context is, we had zero marketing budget. Zero, right? Second point is, well, every year there are 11,000 business books coming to the market. So if you're not different, it's very difficult, right? It's as if you had to have 11,000 products. And then the third point is, as an author, together with my co-author, well, we were virtually unknown. Coming from Switzerland, from a relatively good management school, but not known throughout the world. So, an interesting marketing challenge. I guess you would agree, right? For those of you who are in marketing. Now, should you care about what I'm going to talk about, because it's about business model innovation? I do think so, because there are some lessons to be learned. Because I think marketing is transforming a lot. And if we want to take a part of marketing, which is selling, I think selling is dead. You cannot sell anymore. You can market, but you cannot sell. That's gone. Okay? Now I'll tell you why. So let's start with the beginning. So you've seen a little bit of the context, but we thought, let's deal with that context. Let's start from the beginning and use what we have. And we did have a couple of things. So we had three things. One was content. The other one was ideas. Now everybody has ideas, but we had a lot of passion. And we were willing to take the risk to try something new. And as an accessory, I had a PhD on the topic of business models. So there were some things there. And then I started writing a blog about business model innovation, and people started reading that. So that was the context. But still pretty difficult to write a best-selling management book in that context, right? So now let's look at the product. Product that we wanted to produce was a book. And we were very convinced that if we would do it right, we could make it a global bestseller. As a small group, without a publisher, with no marketing budget. And we did actually achieve that. But it wasn't really just a book that we wanted to create. We wanted to create tools for managers and entrepreneurs that they could use. So people would not just read it, but they would be able to use this stuff and do something with it. So what's the core of the book, or this product? And I'll actually get you to work on that, because I want you to think about business models a little bit. So take a piece of paper and a pen, or you can use your iPhone, and I want you to work with your seat neighbor. Doesn't matter if you don't know the person beside you. I want you to answer this question. What is a business model, and what are the elements of it? And then you write down your definition. Okay? Question is clear? Is there anybody in the room who has never ever used the word business model? Hands up. One person who's not entirely, who did never use the word, never ever. Okay, so all others, you have an idea what it is, right? I'll give you 1 minute to discuss what a business model is and write it down. Okay, 1 minute, let's go. What's a business model? Yeah, I'll change after, don't worry. It was working before?
No, in the last minute they changed.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm getting in working mode too. Took my suit off. Not all of it yet. So what's a business model? Write down your definition. Okay. So, oops, colors changed. Yeah. Okay, are you ready? Do you have your definition? Let's get this back. So, who wants to quickly tell me what a business model is? What's a business model? Yep. What's a business model?
I think it's very simple. The business model is you have a product for the good price in the right market. That's the business model. Okay, product, good price, right market. Okay, one definition. Anybody else? Where are you working? What's a business model? What's a business model? Do you have a definition?
The way to make money.
Okay, very short. The way to make money. What's a business model?
It's a plan for an organization to be able to exist and maybe make money.
Okay, so we have slightly different things. We have a plan, we have market, a way to make money. One last one?
Yes. People, resources and ideas combined.
Okay, so we have additional elements here. Would you say these are similar definitions? Pretty different, right? Yeah? Pretty different. Now, is that a problem? What do you think? It's a huge problem. It's not a problem per se, but if you get a group of people together in a management meeting or in a marketing meeting, and they're supposed to discuss a business model and they don't have the same definition, you're going to get 3 hours of work. You're going to work out of that. You're going to walk out of that meeting and you're going to have nothing, because people don't have the same language. This is actually what happens. People speak like this when it comes to business models because we don't use the same definitions. Now that's a big issue if we want to be innovative, if we want to differentiate, if we want to do things differently, and that's, I think, where marketing can contribute. But what happens is that people in technology, in marketing, in management, in finance, they speak a different language. And that's not good. So what we thought is, and this is the core, this is the concept of the book, and then I'll tell you about the story, thought let's start with creating a core language where people can share what a business model is. And this will help you as marketers also to think about the business models of your companies. So we came up with a very visual language. It's called the business model canvas. And we use the word canvas because it's about painting out what your business model is, because if you don't paint it out, if you don't draw it, you won't be able to change it. You won't be able to work together between technology, marketing, and finance, okay? So, we created this language to help people describe, challenge, and change their business models. So what is it about? 9 building blocks, and with these 9 building blocks, you can describe any business model. And when you can describe it, you can change it, okay? So, first thing, what you know as marketers, customer segments. You need to know what is the job to get done. So if you're a newspaper, what are the 2 customer segments? You have 2 main customer segments, the readers and the advertisers, right? So those are the core segments, and for both segments you have a different offer. You offer them something different solution to their needs, different value proposition. But then you have to ask yourself, next point, well, how do these segments want to be reached? So not how do I sell to them, but how do they want to be reached? In case of a newspaper, what is it? Is it the iPad? Is it the physical newspaper? Is it the internet? So what are the channels? If we're talking about clothes, we're talking about stores, we're talking about the internet. What is it? Mobile phone. Then we need to ask ourselves, so what are the relationships that we establish? If you're a bank, you will establish a completely different relationship between private banking clients with 10 million euro or with a student that has minus 500 euro, right? You will push the student through a web channel with e-banking, and you will have a personal relationship with the private banking client. Those are 2 very different things. And then the next step, also important for marketers, obviously, is what are people really willing to pay for? For what are people willing to pay? Particularly in a world where a lot of things are free. Look at the newspaper industry, the news industry, the music industry. They're asking themselves exactly these questions. Okay? So here on the right-hand side, we have the value creation and the value delivery. That's what you know as marketers.